11 years we have been paying war veterans that are 90% from one ethnic group. In 11 years we have paid 18 billion to them. Cost. Why do you think other people should get 30 years, 18 billion in 30 years, that have lost close to 200,000 Namibians? And during the War of National Resistance, even if the war was very important and cardinal, we didn't have losses more than 10,000 people that died in that war. But yet, you are saying people that have died, communities that are decimated, 80% of those communities, they must be ready to accept a 30-year deal because you have spent money on it. So we must be fair to one another. Because if they want us to come and talk about comparing apples with apples, we'll start making those comparisons in this country. How is it fair if the war veterans are getting 18 billion in 11 years and you want genocide victims to get 18 billion in 30 years? Make that comparison analysis. And it tells you that these things are very emotive and we must be sensitive, we must be diplomatic, we must listen to one another. And one thing that the ruling party is not doing, they are not trying to listen to reason.
At a recent press conference last year, the Ovaherero Traditional Authority leadership stated that descendants of communities affected by Imperial Germany's extermination order against the Herero and Nama people would like to represent themselves in the genocide negotiations, and that they have submitted their own petition to the United Nations General Assembly to intervene in the matter. Venaani has also alleged that the ruling party is adamant about toning down the genocide issue, citing remarks from SWAPO Member of Parliament and Minister of Defense Frans Kapofi.
SWAPO is adamant in trying to really water down the genocide issue, in trying to make this issue a non-issue. And for the record, let's speak for the record, the ruling party has never supported the genocide issue until 2006. This matter started already in the 90s. They never supported it until it came in 2006. So they don't have the political dexterity to come and educate people, some such as us, that have pioneered and worked this thing all our lives, working on this thing to find a lasting solution. But for Kapofi to say that communities cannot speak for themselves, perhaps he must go and read a little bit more about international law, because this is a settled principle in international law. It is a settled principle in the conventions of the United Nations on human rights that communities that are affected may. And here you have also a German scholar who is a historian who, in the name of Professor Zimmer, who is saying that communities can and ought to speak for themselves. So we are not saying the communities must only speak for themselves. We are not excluding government to be part of the equation. We are saying bring government in the equation, but government must also bring communities in the equation so that we create a better round, a successful round. And I do not know why Kapofi wants to be adamant to say we should leave it in the hands of the government. Government process at this point in time has vehemently failed. And clearly also, Parliament has also rejected the deal in the House. Even if Kapofi didn't want the House to take a decision, the mood of the House was one of rejection.
Last year, at the remembrance of the 117th year since the genocide, the leadership of the Ovaherero and Ovambanderu Genocide Foundation also criticized the reparations arrangement in which Germany offered the Namibian government 18 billion Namibia dollars in funding over a 30-year period.